Okay, so today's lesson is on how to create a full range of values in stippling, pen and ink, and cross-hatching. So, we're working on taking care of a little glare here from the back. But I think once I get marker on this sheet, you'll be able to see what I'm showing you. First thing I want to do is just show you guys an example of a couple artists that work in pen and ink. Now we're going to actually learn how to use quill pens in this class, which is cool, and with the ink bottle, and you dip it in and you can get all range of value in line. And that ink that we're going to be using will never ever fade, where a Sharpie marker eventually will, believe it or not. But check this out. Who knows who this is? That's right, Shel Silverstein. All pen and ink. If you've ever been to the Brandywine River Museum, they have a lot of illustration shows that change out. Brandywine River Museum. It's a beautiful place. There's illustrations from the 1900s there that look like they were done yesterday, because they were done the old-fashioned way, which is what we're going to learn, which is in pen and ink. Now, when we're first practicing just how to get a range of values, we're going to use Sharpie marker. So today we're going to use Sharpie marker. But when we do our final work of art, do you know that that work of art will be good forever? It'll be good forever. You know, your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren can have this beautiful work of art that you're going to create, and it'll look as good as new. So, Shel Silverstein, okay? Here's some stippling. The hair can be considered line design. My personal favorite is A.B. Frost. Look at how just whimsical his drawings are. I've got a copy of this for everybody. It illustrates his beautiful cross-hatching technique. Cross-hatching tends to be, this is actually my favorite, because I am somewhat of a lazy artist, and it's the fastest way to get a full range of values on a three-dimensional form. Look at this adorable little chicken. He's hilarious. I like the personality involved with the drawing. Here's a guy going up or down a flight of stairs. Here's something for the cat lovers. Cross-hatching, the background is in line design. And these are really comical. So, I'll pass these out to you guys. Look, this cat's like singing or something. It's pretty funny. Here's another artist that worked in pen and ink. A contemporary artist. And these are really great because even the speaking bubbles are drawings. So here's a worm, you know, speaking in a picture. And it's a pretty long cartoon, but it's fun, you know, how it's drawn out. This really illustrates the importance of positive-negative space relationships. Would you not agree? Right? These drawings pop. So indirectly, this is part of what I wanted to teach you through that assignment that we just finished. So many of those compositions are beautiful. Imagine if you broke down those shapes and then recreated that project as a cartoon. You know? Maybe that big arrow that's in the center of your artwork is a caricature, you know, for instance. And then the other things that are in the background are realistic type objects drawn in. If you use the same thing that you learned about positive negative space, it's really kind of incredible. Your cartoon is going to pop, you know? So, how do we shade? Okay, you should already have the pencil filled in. We'll start with stippling. Stippling, arguably is the easiest, but the most time consuming. Okay, we start with step 1, step 2. Step 1 is blank, so I've just left it out of the chart altogether. Also, because it's the most time consuming, I made it the small, that small section on this sheet. There's a correct and incorrect way to apply stipples. Correct way is like this, dots, okay? Incorrect way, and if you're rushing, it shows, and it just doesn't look good, is the hairs. Now, if you were creating an illustration of an animal with short fur, then that would be appropriate. But for the purpose of this, especially since we're going to be doing pumpkins, I would expect to see dots, not like the hairs, unless it's a pumpkin wearing a Halloween costume, which would be amazing. Talk about taking it a step further, but so as you get darker, here's a step 3, the dots get closer and closer together until you get to step 7 and they're almost touching each other. What not to do is dotted stripes. So you need to get used to, if you decide to do stippling, get in the habit of really creating random dots like this. Also, if you choose stippling for your pumpkin drawing, my suggestion is that you draw your pumpkin drawing, like the pumpkins are about this big, is that your final drawing is not bigger than the true pumpkin itself, because it's a lot of dots, and that won't be fun. Okay, so for line design, look through your texture pack and pick a texture that you might be interested in creating, or you can make one up. What if you were to, for example, create a pumpkin that looks like it was made out of wood? Then you might be interested in doing a like a wood grain. Here's step 2. Okay, but step 7, it's going to be really close. Here's a knot in the middle. Now each one doesn't have to look the same. You can use your texture packs, and that'll really tell you, like, for instance, what wood grain looks like. There's an example. Oops. So you would just take it from here. And the incorrect way to recreate a step 7, or to create step 7 in line design, is as you get darker to get kind of messier. Some people tend to get messier because they're trying to rush. This takes about 20 minutes to fill out the entire sheet, so don't rush, because it's worth 20 points, you know? My very favorite is cross-hatching. Cross-hatching allows you to show the planes. We're going to pretend, actually, this is a step 2. This is a step 5. And a step 7 is obviously very tight. What I'd like you to do is get in the habit of turning your paper so that when you are asked to create different planes on a final drawing, such as a pumpkin, you're able to get those detailed organic planes clear in your cross-hatching. So multiple straight lines. See how quickly I filled in that entire space. Useful tool for illustrators, I feel like. I had a student 2 years ago that created an entire portfolio in stippling, large scale, and I was like, what are you doing? Because, you know, large pieces, it's like an illustrator should really not, if you're working in stippling, it should be small scale. Otherwise, you're going to bore yourself. If I would be bored, you know, a student who's really learning patience in art is going to be thoroughly bored, you know. So things to keep in mind. Are we ready to give it a shot? Okay. This is worth 20 points, and for those of you that are not here today, please do it for homework, and I will give you your 20 points.